Greetings, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in and welcome to another edition of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am back. Uh, we are back with another episode. Pardon me, y'all. I'm trying to get these banners up here and get everything squared away. I appreciate y'all patience. Thank you for tuning in. We are actually continuing a series this month. Uh, man, I can't even. Oh, Lord, y'all, please help me. Help me. We are continuing a podcast well, hold up, y'all. Please forgive me. My notes falling and everything. We are continuing a series that I am doing this month entitled From Boots to the Barbershop, honoring military veteran barbers. So I am a military veteran. I am also a barber stylist. So I'm taking part in today's segment. We got two more that are up for the last two Sundays in this month. But tonight's episode is entitled, well, it's episode number 44, but it's entitled From the Navy to the Barber Chair, the Journey of Yah-Tay the Barber Stylist. So tonight, I have some questions that I'm going to share, and then I'm going to answer them as if I'm interviewing myself. So you all will know what it's been like for me since being out of the Navy, how the Navy has influenced my barbering career indirectly or directly, and just kind of chat with you all about my experience with the Navy and just talk about grooming standards and, things along those lines. But I'm going to stick to the questions and also share some other stuff with you. So welcome to episode number 44 of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. As I mentioned, this month we are honoring military veterans who have served not only in the service or the branch of service. You got Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Army, Air Force. And then I can't forget about our reserve family, because our reserve family do step in and support and help out as well. But I am dedicating this to barbers, military veterans who are barbers that now serve behind the chair. And today I'm turning the mic inward. I'm sharing my journey as a U.S. Navy veteran who stepped out of the military and into what I would consider a multi purpose driven career, and now a barber stylist, because uh, I've done a lot of things, and I'm sure many of you have done a lot of things across the span of your lifetime up to this point. And then again, some of you may have not. Speaking of that, I have an aunt that before I was even born, my aunt said she worked for the St. Petersburg Times in our hometown for 40, it's over 45 years. I want to say it's more like 47, 48, somewhere around in there. But she worked for them for like over 40 years, 40 plus years. So we have some individuals who stay in careers and are there for the duration till they retire. And then we have some like myself who find themselves, hey, LaDosha, thank you for tuning in. Peace and blessings. I am turning the mic inward for me, and we're talking about, we're honoring military veterans who are barbers this month. So I'm going to be honest. I had another female barber, but she never got her document. She never got her stuff to me. So after a couple of times of reaching out, I was like, you know what? You know, hey, we got to keep this train moving. so um I'm turning the mic inward and sharing a multi-purpose, a multifaceted driven career now as a barber stylist, from discipline and structure to creativity and connection. My story is one of definitely resilience, um, definitely reinvention, and I'm actually in the process of I won't say, I guess you could say reinventing, adding some more skills. I just added a new skill set or new certification month before last, and I'm in the process of adding um, something before the end of the year. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. Right now, I'm doing some behind the scenes work on it, but nonetheless, it's been one of resilience, one of reinvention, and the calling that brought me back to the craft of hair. So I'm gonna throw this plug in, and it's really not a plug because it's the truth. My book, A Heritage of Hair, actually delves into um, how this all came about. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about it, but to get the details of how I actually came back around to hair, for those of you who don't know, I grew up in the industry. Um, and I hate to say I was born into it, but I was literally born into it for the simple fact that my mom was carrying me in the womb. You got this. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. She say it happens to us all the time. You're right. Keep the content coming. You have to. Yes, yes, you do. So yeah, let me put this on so folks can see. But yeah, I she ain't show up. So I was like, I gotta keep going. I'm a veteran, so I can do it. I got pictures, I got images. But nonetheless, I talk about it in this book. It's dedicated to both my parents. My mom I lost in 1988. So I'm actually telling her story and paralleling my story in conjunction with hers, talking about the life-changing event that happened and put me, I like to say back on course to it, but put me back on course, and then, kind of follow me through the ups and downs, the twists and turns of getting licensed. So that's a story in and of itself. But nonetheless, it's my calling, the calling that brought me back to the craft of hair. This episode is a tribute to every veteran who has transformed their service into something new, because that's what it's really all about. Once get hopefully honorably discharged, um, you are making that transition, and it's not only honoring those who have served and going into something new, and to the power of rediscovering your purpose, because I've had to do it quite a bit. So um I just, first of all, I know we just had Veterans Day. I still want to send a shout out to all the veterans and veterans, which often gets mistaken with Memorial Day. Veterans Day is for those who have served. Okay, they have served. Memorial Day is to honor those who were lost in combat, who were lost during their time in service. Okay, so Memorial Day is in May, Veterans Day is in November. Labor Day, which is something totally different, is in September. All right. So as I open this tribute in, this month's series of From Boots to the Barbershop, honoring military veteran barbers, I just want to acknowledge all the veterans and their families, because families, um, y'all are part of the military too, because you up and move when we up and move. I'll just say that. So I want to talk about, before I um well, I guess I'll just get to the question. So the first question is, and I have different questions for the individuals that come on based on what it is that they want to discuss. So I kind of uh, gear the questions around that. So, and it helps them to open up, loosen up, and kind of share their story a little more openly and without feeling nervous or scared. For those who've been on for the first time, they tend to be kind of nervous about it, but it's all good. I tell them just pretend like you're talking FaceTime with somebody. That's it. It's just you and I, me and you and me on. So the first question that I have to answer for myself is what inspired me to join the Navy and how did serving shape the woman that I am today? So there are, I'm going to be real transparent with this. There are actually two things that two reasons why I joined. Um, the first reason why I joined the military was I was working full time. I had a part time job and I was going to school full time. So I was doing a number of things and I really, really wanted to complete my education. I had already obtained my 2 year degree because I had played college basketball at a junior college. And the reason why I went to a junior college is because we had recently lost our mom, and I'm the oldest of three. And I didn't want to be that far away from my siblings where I could get home in 30 minutes or less, which that's what it was. I was able to get home, go across the Skyway Bridge, and I'm back home in literally less than 30 minutes, depending on the traffic. But nonetheless, I ended up going to a junior college first, though I had a few offers. And then uh, after junior college, I ended up going to Valdosta State, which is called, it was Valdosta State College, VSC is Valdosta State University now. Might be something else, but that was years ago when I was at Valdosta State. And I was actually a junior. I didn't get asked back my last year. I do I talk about that in the book? I think so. But anywho, you got to get the book to get the scoop on that. So when I came home after my junior year, I still wanted to complete my education. So I ended up going back to our local college, which was St. Petersburg um, College, and taking a few classes. But nonetheless, I just got tired of the hustle and bustle. I felt like I was on a hamster wheel and not going anywhere. But what uh, most people don't know, I actually was in JROTC when I was in high school. And check this out. I was in Army JROTC and I end up going into the Navy. And if I had to do all over again, I tell everybody this, I would have chose the Air Force because personally, I just think I personally think, and what I've seen and know from others who have served in the Air Force, they tend to take better care of their people. But it would have been Air Force, Navy, and I Marines and Army, and it don't fit my personality. But anywho, I'm just being honest. So that was the initial reason for me going, and then something else happened. So I was I had dated this guy, and then wasn't dating him, and it was kind of off and on, off and on. But there was this one time that he had made a comment to me, and he said, "If I can't have you, nobody else will." And at the time, my young mind, um, not knowing what it really meant, however, I knew what my dad took my mom through in terms of domestic violence and you know, being in an abusive relationship and then marriage and then divorce, um, I was like, nah. And then early on, we had some heated discussions. I'm gonna say that we got into some altercations here and there, cheating and all of that stuff. It's just the nature of young love. But nonetheless, I said, you know what? I gotta go. So my dad actually went with me to the recruiting station, and he would say, you don't remember, I went with you down there. He was asking the people questions like he was joining. But father, I'm young. He want to know what's going on, what's happening. He never served, never thought about serving, none of that. But he actually went with me. The only reason why I didn't go Air Force because they weren't open. So, and I was ready to get out of there, but I end up going into the delayed entry program, which gave me about 90 days or so to get my things together because I was out on my own. I was living on my own. So I had to close out, put stuff in order, put my stuff in storage, what little things that I had, get rid of stuff that I wasn't going to keep, all of those things. And then my dad ended up taking my car. But nonetheless, I end up going in for those reasons. But the second one I just mentioned, that kind of drove me to go ahead and, make it happen. So I end up going in 1994, October 18th of 1994. I end up in uh, Great Lakes. They had already closed Orlando. So yes, a Florida girl was in uh, Great Lakes in October. And talk about wake up call, wind whipping off of Lake Michigan. It was something serious, something serious. So I'm going to show y'all this picture here. This is me in boot camp. That top opening there where you see those shower shoes and uniforms all nicely folded. Those are my items. And that's actually all we had from the bottom of that locker there to the left or your right, depending on it's my left, your right, probably. Um, I had that space on up to the top, and that was all I had. And then, of course, we had our sea bag with other items in it. We had to have the stuff folded in there nice and neat. Yeah. So here's the deal. When I went into the military, um, I said this on Clyde's session. I know, right? You say, look, that bed look hard. It was. So I wasn't on the top bunk. I was on the bottom bunk because I was the tallest of the two. I didn't have to. I didn't have to get on the bunk on the top one because had I got on the top, my head would have been scraping the top, the ceiling up there. Y'all see that, right? But nonetheless, um, the RPOC slept on top. The RPOC is the person that counts cadence, lead us, all of those things. I was the master at arms, which is military police. I handled everything inside of our birthing unit. So I wish I had thought about it and brought my kiln out. My it's like a yearbook for our company. But anywho, yeah. So I was over that in our birthing area. So yeah, that's me in boot camp. All right. So this is me after I had graduated boot camp. It's coming up. Hold on. That's me after I had graduated boot camp. So I've answered the first question. So that's why I enlisted. My role, I was, because I had college education, I had already gone in as an E3, E2, I'm holding up two fingers, E3, which is the highest rank enlisted that you can go in unless you're going on the officer side. Oh, thank you. She said, oh, Oh, you cute. Oh, thank you. And somebody told me you still look the same. I'm like, I hope I do, except for, I'm a little fuller in the face. But yeah, Ladosha says I gave all military people mad props and discounts. Oh, thank you. No limit soldiers. Yeah, it's a lot. And what people don't understand, we we endure a lot. We go through a lot. And just like the world out here, the military is a world within itself. I'll just say that. So some of the same things take place, some of the same things happen. It's just we're just contained in a different environment. I'll say that. And we're held to a different standards. We have to execute certain things and do different things. I'll just say that. But at the end of the day, it's about getting the mission done. No matter, you can like the person or don't like the person, whatever your problems is with whatever, how they living or not living, the, ultimately we got to get the job done. So it don't matter. Um, with that, my role, when I initially went in, I was undesignated, which means that I did not have a job when I went in. However, because I did so well in boot camp, and whenever we got inspected, we did exceptionally well. um, I got an A school out of boot camp, which meant that I didn't, go off on orders right away. For some who had designated, positions, jobs, or titles, I stayed behind because I was waiting for my orders, which would send me to a PNA school in Meridian, Mississippi, that's where I went to go to A school for PN. Personnelman is similar to HR. They handle all the documentation, paperwork for officers and enlisted. A yeoman is like a personnelman. I'm not sure what they call them now because it's been over uh, 31 years since I um, was in, and 24 years. Next month will be 24 years since I've been out. So with that, I was a personnelman initially, went in as an E3. Because the rating was so tight, meaning it was hard to advance, I end up uh, crossing over, a cross rating. So I'm going to show you all this article that was done in reference to personnelmen. However, they captured a picture of me because they were talking about it. So this is the article that was done. It's called Advancement Crunch. That's me at my desk. Well, actually, it was the computer station behind me where I did a lot of my inputting, data entry, and stuff like that at PSD. So they did an article because certain ratings it was hard to advance. I was one of them. I actually got frocked, which means I had been in the rating for a while, met the requirements, had outstanding evals, and my command frocked me to the next rank, which was petty officer uh, third class. So it's an E4. So I had just got that. Let me show you. Here's the frocking ceremony right here. Let me put that up. This is the frocking ceremony. And to tell y'all the story, this gentleman, Master Chief Boleyn, he was actually the one that sat me down. And the gentleman standing behind him is my sponsor. I still call him my sponsor to this day, PN1 Davis. He actually retired as a chief, but PN1 Davis sponsored me when I came to the command. So he made sure I was good, taken care of. But nonetheless, Master Chief Boleyn had dropped some ratings on my desk. My desk is right behind me. If you see it, that's my desk right behind me. he had dropped some ratings on my desk, and he was like, Keaton, if you're going to stay in, you need to look at, if you're going to make the Navy a career, you need to look at some other ratings. And he dropped some ratings on my desk and said, this is the future of the Navy. So I was like, what is this, Master Chief? Look it up. I was like, okay. So I looked it up. We had a conversation about the different ratings. It was the IT community. And I end up crossing over to CTO, which is cryptologic technician communication. I end up doing help desk. They signed off for me to go to school or go back to a school. And ultimately, I got I guess you could say designated as a CTO. And I crossed over into that field and then took new orders and ended up in Hawaii. So my role in that position, I held the TSSCI clearance. My role in that position basically was similar to a personnel man and handling a lot of documentation, secure information, but I also handled troubleshooting for computers, which I used to know a lot about computers because I worked around them a lot. I can, maneuver my way around them. I'm a little rusty, but that's the type of work that I did where I could remote log in, help someone out if they had some challenges, logging issues, rebooting, something wasn't working, or I would set up systems. That's some of the stuff that I can kind of generalize and share. But the other stuff, I'm not able to tell you. I have to kill you. I'm just kidding. But nonetheless, those were some of the roles that I played. Some of the key lessons learned when I went in. Individuals who didn't know me prior to going in and knew me after the fact thought that the military made me organized and disciplined and the type of person that I am, but I said no. My mother was my first military instructor. She was very well organized, routine, disciplined, and she had to be. She was raising us as a single mother, a mother parenting singly at the time after my dad, they got a divorce. Um, yeah, so she had to have us on the routine. She worked in the shop, in the salon. So, there were things that we needed to get done, to have done. And, it just kind of fell in line. And me being the oldest child, y'all already know. If you're oldest child, you already know how that goes. So the lessons that I learned, really, another level of discipline, another level of organization, communication, being able to talk in front of people. I didn't have a problem with it. However, I got to do a lot more of that in terms of doing reports, communicating with both enlisted and officers, sharing information, talking with my neighboring, dispersing clerks, because we worked together. We worked together, yet in separate offices, but in the same building. So we kind of, it's just that whole thing of working with your co-workers type of environment. So those were just some of the things. And then, of course, physical fitness, because we had to be in shape. I said this on the last tribute that we did to Clyde. I was already in shape because I was fresh out of college, had been still playing ball, rec ball. Even though I wasn't playing college ball, I was playing pickup, playing rec ball, playing league ball, all of that. So I was still in shape. So that wasn't a problem. It was just getting adjusted to the long distance running, because basketball court, we do this. Military, you have to get adjusted to doing long distance running because you got to run a mile and a half, you know, do all of those things. And I mentioned push-ups. Very strong lower body. Upper body, I wasn't so strong. And most women aren't as strong with their upper bodies. But we're going to say traditionally not as strong. Nowadays, they rocking it out. I'll just say that. I'm still not as strong. But hey, yes. So the next question we have here, I already talked about what skills or values from the Navy show up. Well, no, I haven't. Show up most in my work as a barber. Organization, communication, uh, handling things at the lowest level. But in the barbershop, unless you're an employer, even as an independent contractor, there's still someone whom you may talk to, whether it's the person who owns the barbershop or salon, or the person who manages it, dealing with things at the lowest level. So example, if you have a situation where there's a disagreement or conflict or confrontation per se with a co-stylist or a co-barber, if the maturity level is there and you can talk with that individual directly, then you would address it as such. If it's not like that, then you would go to the next person, whether it be management, owner, whoever's the next high ranking individual. You would go to them to discuss the situation, talk about it, or whatnot. So I still see that. I utilize the teamwork effort, even though in the barber and beauty industry, um, you see it and then you don't see it because everybody is, attending to their clients, trying to make their money, that type of thing. So it yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Next question. What was the hardest part of transitioning from military life to civilian life and eventually to barbering? So for me, transitioning back into the military, I'm sorry, into civilian life, um, I mentioned it earlier. Whether you like somebody or don't like somebody, the mission was to get the job done. And the cattiness that you see, the backbiting, the underhandedness. And I'm not saying that didn't go on in the military, somebody trying to make you look bad, or dirty your name or muddy your name up. Not to say that that didn't happen. It did. Yet in this end, you still have your position, you know, unless you do something terribly, terribly bad where you get demoted, your rank taken away, in prison in some cases. If it's something seriously bad, you lose your rank, you'll lose pay. It's a lot of things that can happen. They hit you in the pockets. I'm gonna say that they hit you in the pockets. Whereas the civilian environment, it was just a whole adjustment of the team, somebody looking out for you. In the civilian sector, you don't know who is and who isn't, and initially. But if you got friends and family who back you and support you, then you know. But coming back into it, people change, things happen. It's like, I don't know, so I could always count on my comrades and people that I knew to support me, and that the job was going to get done regardless, because that's part of the mission. Getting out, just that whole idea, the structure, all of that, it was just different. you know Ladosha says, did you guys have good sisterhood? I see military people are very close, like a sorority or special interest group. Yes. Yes, I still have individuals that I was in the military with, that I keep in contact with, like my sponsor. I've lost contact with Master Chief Boling. Honestly, I don't know if he's still living because he was much older, but nonetheless, I know he was in Jacksonville. My sponsor in the back, I'm in contact with him. He sent me a message every day. I'm sorry, Chief Davis. He sent me a message every day. So I get some kind of something in my Instagram inbox from him. So let me pull that down. Yeah, so there are individuals that I still keep in contact with today. It is really like a sisterhood or a brotherhood. And even when you're at the VA or you're out and about, you find somebody that's a military personnel. Even when I have people that I do um, who are military, we support each other. We do kind of hit on each other like, so like take for instance, if I find out that someone is military and I ask them what branch of service and they say something other than the Navy, I'll be like, oh, boo, boo. And then it's like, no, we all the same. We same. So it's one of those things that we do. Women, it's a little, I think it's a little different for women when we get out. Men tend to, kind of congregate, hang out together. You don't see it as much with women because the ones that I know, they aren't here. But I do know a few who have served, but they're not here. So it is like a sisterhood, a brotherhood, and that connection is there. It's always there, young, old, and in between. No matter what, we still look out for one another. I'll give y'all an example. I have one of my elderly clients whose husband was prior military. She's a widow now after 4 years. I look out for her. I know her daughter, but I look out for her. I make sure she's good, make sure she's taken care. So stuff like that. But it is a sisterhood, a brotherhood, you know, and familyhood. I'll say that. So let's see here. Leaving the Navy, I actually got out in 2001, right after the 9/11. I got out medically. Um, was very mixed because I was in the middle of a contract that would have put me at 10 years. I had 7 years, uh, 7 years. I never thought I'd remember this. 7 years, 1 month, and 11 days. So yeah, so it was bittersweet. Um, I feel like because certain things weren't done in a timely manner, my career wasn't preserved like it might have been. And this is me just looking back, but everything happens for a reason. And I made the adjustment. It's still been a challenge. It is a challenge oftentimes when I think about it. Um, when I think about it too much, it bothers me. But I know that all things work together for our good, my good, and is working together. But nonetheless, I did leave. It was an identity shift for a long time because of how I felt. I didn't, I got rid of all my uniforms. I got rid of everything except for my pins, my name badge, and some pictures. But my uniforms, I got rid of everything. Now I kind of wish I had kept one or two because we had a lot of them. But it is what it is. With that, I did keep this shirt. Some of y'all see this shirt here, right? I actually played on the All Navy team. I got picked up. I was scouted. Let me see if I can find that picture first. So let me share this picture with you all first. So this picture is in front of PSD Personnel Support Detachment. That was my first duty station at NAS Cecilfield in Jacksonville, Florida. That's one of the many uniforms that we wore. And that was my first duty station. So I went there. I was trying to see if I had the one image of me when I was actually recruited by the military personnel. Give me a second, y'all. Let me see if I can locate it real quick. Uh, ba, 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 ba. Let me see if I can locate it really quick for y'all. Probably not. Just my luck, y'all. I'm trying to find the picture. But anywho, uh, that's bothering me now, y'all. That's bothered me. That is bothering me. Y'all, hold on. Give me a second. Uh, let's see here. Where is it when you're looking for something? Can't find it when you're looking for it. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I might get it here. Hold on, because I was actually scouted by the All Navy coach who had been coaching the team for quite some time. And why can't I find it? I'm probably looking dead at it because I'm looking for it, and it is just slips away. Hold on, y'all. Book images. Hold on. Oh, I found it. Okay, so this image here, that young lady you see in the back was my I guess you would say barracks mate, because we stayed in the barracks with uh in quads. The coach, that's the All Navy coach who actually recruited me. I didn't even know who he was. Um, oh, Ladosha says, I'm sorry. Ladosha said, I absolutely hate the way the president and that Pete guy treat and talk to military personnel. I really mean it. Yeah. I don't even listen to it. I don't even listen to it. But nonetheless, I was actually recruited at the time by this gentleman who had been the All Navy coach when I joined the team. We had to try out at the time that I tried out in 1996, which made 29 years ago. This shirt is 29 years old, y'all. Can you believe it? This was the shirt that we got as a group, and I still have it. My name's right here, my number's right there. And on the back, it says all about winning. Let me see. I don't know if y'all can see it. I got to turn around. On the back, it says all about winning. But anywho, he came down. So I used to play for Cecilfield. I played NAS Jacks. We played on different. We played. We would play over there at NAS Jacks. So we go over there and play. He came over one day, introduced himself. I didn't know who he was. Introduced himself, talked to me. Eventually, I had to go to tryouts. I went to tryouts and tried out for the team and made the team. During the time that I played, um, they didn't travel. It wasn't a travel team. So basically, they had a tournament, and that was it. So this is me one day at the tournament. I got a picture of me in uniform. You can still fit it, not me. All I can fit are my socks. Hey, and you know what? LaDosha, I can still fit the shirt. Yes, because it's an extra large. So I've always been pretty big, and I didn't like my stuff fitting snug on me. And then one of my neighbor was like, you sure took care of it. Well, I wore it during the time that we played, and I might have wore it a couple times after that, but it wasn't like something that I put on and I wore all the time. So I was able to um um procure cure it, you curate it, you know how you save something. So I was actually gonna throw it away, and my spirit was like, no, don't throw it away, just hang on to it. And I actually still have my all navy bag. It's in storage. It's like a little small duffel bag. It still look pretty decent. That's because I didn't use it much after the fact. But yeah, I can still wear it, LaDosha. I can still wear it. It's an extra large, so it's, you know how they make them a little bigger than what they are, but it feels good. The shirt, y'all know about the airbrushing, so everything was airbrushed on, so it looks good. It still looks good, but nonetheless, um, he came down. He recruited me. That's me in uniform, and then that's me in our actual warm up uniform. So yeah, I played on the All Navy team just for the season. We in the tournament we made it to I think the semifinals, and then we lost. We lost to the Army. I still have the actual breakdown of it, and it's in storage. That's in storage too. I want to say we lost to the Army. We lost to the Army, but nonetheless, I had an opportunity to play on the All Navy team, and here's my shirt. So that's that. Let's get on to the next question. It says here, as a female barber in a male-dominated industry, what strengths do you bring that make your perspective unique? My voice. I think, because I've been in um, the military environment and speaking up, having to communicate, um, I bring my voice from the standpoint of I'm not afraid to uh, voice my concern, share my thoughts, speak up, um, just be in communication, even in that environment. I know when not to say anything or to stay out of a conversation or not engage in something as well. And sometimes silence speaks louder than words, just your presence. So I feel like I bring that strength. I bring the discipline because oftentimes uh, barbers, some of them aren't as disciplined, timely, mindful of others' time, and the ego of thinking it's all about them when it's really about the client, and servicing them. Because I've served, I understand being of service to someone, customer service. I understand that, you know. So that's what I feel that I bring. And there are a number of other things, but that's the biggest one, just the communication, the discipline, the timeliness, the organization skills, those things. Uh, yeah. So let's see what I want to mention. How barbering found me again. Like I say, I talked about it in my book, but for years. So military, that was just one career. So I left high school, went into college, came back home after my having played my junior year at Valdosta State, stayed home for a little bit, and end up going into the military. Once I got out of the military, um, let me see, I went to interior design school. I have a bachelor's in interior design. Worked in that field for a little while. I worked for Home Depot for some years, and then I got into a furniture company where I worked with them as a designer. Uh, Experience discrimination in the field. I was young. I left it all together, put out in the community that I needed a job. And because I was, in the community a lot, um, I got a connection and end up starting to work with children back in 2005. So it's been 20 years that I've worked with children in various capacities. However, um, now I stopped at about round about 16 when my last position was with our military families on base, but I keep counting because I still work with children technically, y'all. When I cut their hair or service them via servicing their natural hair. But I work with them, put out in the community that I needed another position. So I end up working for the Y. Then I worked as a program coordinator with another organization. I worked as a prevention and outreach educator. Um, I've done cashiering. I've done, ran my own business um, as a decorator or designer. I couldn't call myself an interior designer because I'm not licensed. Even though I have the education, I didn't go through and get the time. You have to work under a licensed designer for a certain period of time and then sit and take your state board like we did with barbering. So I didn't do that. I just let it go altogether. And I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I end up just letting it go all together, because with this particular company, I had an EEOC case, and no one would pick it up. Discrimination is one of those suits that people really don't want to deal with. However, EEOC wouldn't give you the right to pursue it if you didn't have any, you know, validation there. I'll just say that. So, as a young person, I was really good at it. I graduated school with honors. My clients still get to see that, and you see it in how I carry myself, how I organize my space, home wise, and in my environment in terms of where I work. You can see that influence there as well. But I left. I was very disheartened with it. Just left altogether. So I end up getting into youth work. I worked with pregnant teens. Um, I did at-risk youth. I spoke in summer programs, recreation centers, halfway homes, girl homes, group homes, juvenile detention centers. I was a little bit everywhere, talking with children and working with them, elementary, middle, and high school. I've subbed. I've done a lot of things. Be that as it may, my last go round was with our military families, which brings me into how I found barbering again. So I was working at our teen center initially, and I was playing basketball, having a good time, end up completely rupturing my Achilles tendon. So during that time of recovery, I actually uh hair kept coming back. I had a lot of time to think. I was sitting with my foot propped up in the wheelchair, and the hair just kept coming back. So I said, okay, God, you make a way for me to go back to get the training. I'll surrender. Here I am. I just say that. A way was made, got back in school, And my book, A Heritage of Hair, not only parallels my mom's story with mine, it talks about the life-changing event and me going through that process to get those license. So the injury happened in 2017. I didn't get in school until 2020. So it was a lot of faith walking, believing that, God was going to make a way and that's what I was, supposed to do. That whole 9 yards. I talk about it in my book, A Heritage of Hair, which, for those of you who don't know, before it was a year old, I won 3 book awards: book cover design, first time author, and published with a purpose, social awareness. So that's how I got back in. My mother's influence as a cosmetologist, uh, going back to me being born into it, I said that my mom was pregnant with me uh, at state board. That's all I knew. That's all I ever saw my mom do was hair. She had uh, one or two other jobs while she was working to get her license, because it took her some time to get her license. But that's all I knew her of her doing. So that's all I saw. So her influence was and still is very profound. How I interact with my clients, how I communicate with them, how I share knowledge in terms of caring for their hair, creating a environment where they communicate with me about their concerns and challenges with their hair, recommendations, all of those things. So her use shampoo hair and wash clothes. Just some of her her thoughts and her convictions as it related to hair and her process of doing hair. So she's had a profound influence to the point I'm here, and I'm taking the next step, which I'll take her dream to the next level, even though it's a passion of mine. Teaching. I'm in preparation for obtaining my license as an instructor. That was a desire of my mom, was to become a cosmetology teacher or instructor. She never got to see it. However, I will fulfill the desire for me to become an instructor, but also on another level for her as well. How has life redirected me back to the craft? I've already shared that with y'all. Uh, it's just incident that happened. I had a lot of time to sit on my tail to heal, because it took me about 18 months from date of injury till I didn't need physical therapy anymore. Um, it was a lot. It was a lot. Very challenging. I questioned God, like, why is this happening? Why is it happening now? And then I started looking at it from a spiritual standpoint. What is this about? Because it was dealing with my foot and the Achilles tendon, which that tendon is what helps you to walk, because once it's popped, is that foot is in a drop position. You can't bend it, you can't walk on it, nothing. So I was asking myself, where have my steps taken me? How did I get here? Where am I going? Yeah. So it was a very deeply place where I had to do a lot of introspection. So let's get to this last question. How does your military discipline connect with your purpose as a barber, mentor, life coach, and author today? Well, service to people. So, like, I served our country on a broader perspective, serving my community as a barber stylist. So, that discipline of serving and being accountable, um, team player, speaking up, communicating. those types of things. So the consistency, uh, time, time management, those are just a few of the things that have helped me. Ladosha says, you go, girl. You're so real. Thank you. It's been a challenge, but I'm grateful. Uh yeah. It's one other thing I want to show y'all beforehand. So I mentioned that when I went to A school, right, for my second position. I actually have pictures when I was in A school, but they're in storage. I didn't, think to get those up. But this is a picture of me re-enlisting when I crossed over from personnelman to CTO. And this young lady, this officer that you see there, is Lieutenant Padla. She was actually the OIC in charge at PSD, who just so happened to be in Pensacola, and she re-enlisted me there in A school uh, when I crossed over. So I re-enlisted at that time for 6 years, and I got through half of the contract before I was medically uh, and honorably discharged from the Navy. But nonetheless, she signed off for me to go to A school, and then she actually did my reenlistment for me at A school. So I was very honored that her and Master Chief Boleen were very instrumental in one, directing me into another career, and two, her having signed off to send me to A school, and then ultimately being there to re-enlist me into the new A school that I had just completed. So that was me in whites, and that's pretty much how my military discipline has connected me with my purpose as a barber. Just the service aspect and serving our community, serving the people that entrust me with their hair care needs, especially my young children, y'all. I love them to life. I love them to pieces. And I have quite a few of them. I have quite a few of them. So uh, I want to say thank y'all for um, viewing this episode number 44, from Navy to the Barber Chair, the journey of Yah-Tay, the Barber Stylist. I hope that you've been able to glean something out of my segment. It's been very challenging, uh, fun, adventurous. I'm in a period of, I guess you could say, transition again. But life is such that you're always, moving through levels. So I am preparing for yet another level of this industry. And I'll keep you posted. Right now, my head is in the books prepping for these examinations. And by the end of the year, my goal is to have that certification. So I do have a bonus question I'll share with you all, because I've given the other individuals bonus questions. It says here, if I could talk to the younger version of myself on my first day of boot camp, what would I tell her about? What would I tell her about, and where she could end up? Let's see. I got an A school out of boot camp. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I could have gotten into barbering while I was in the military, I think about it now. Gotten into barbering, because I mean, I kept up with a stylist everywhere I went. somebody to braid my hair, keep my relaxer up. So the element of hair has always been throughout my career and always been throughout my life. I would have checked it out to see if I could barber while I was in, y'all. Yeah, yeah. And ending up, um, honestly, I wish some things would have been done a little more timely for me with my career. Um, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I wish some things could have been done in a timely manner to help secure that. Because, like I say, uh, it still hits home a little bit. But nonetheless, I'm still grateful for the opportunity to have served, and I would tell that young lady, be all you can be. Not in the army, but in the Navy. Be all you can be. Be all you can be, and just do your best and show up, show up, and show up. Yep, showing up is half the battle. Just showing up is half the battle, which I showed up. Just continue to show up. All right, those are all the questions to include the bonus one that I had for myself for you all, like I did the others. Stay tuned. We have two more that are coming on as part of the Boots to Barbershop, honoring military veteran barbers. We got two more, and I want to thank you all for joining me. Let me take this off real quick. Hold on. We're gonna throw this one back up there. We're gonna throw that one back up there. That was me right after boot camp. Well, we took that before boot camp ended. But nonetheless, that's me. That's me. And I want to thank you all for joining me for this special Veterans Tribute episode. Sharing my own story as a U.S. Navy veteran and a barber stylist. It reminds me that purpose evolves, but our calling never leaves. It our life continues to evolve. I've evolved from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. But it's been good, and I feel like I was where I was supposed to be, even though sometimes I didn't feel like that was it. But now I know, being here, that I needed to be in those positions to be where I am today. Because as a barber stylist, we come in contact with many individuals across all walks of life. And I feel, because my background of experiences and my exposure, I'm able to um, have varying conversations, especially where our youth are concerned, is to share a different opportunities, different career paths. I'm able to share those varying things, provide insight, encouragement, and support as it relates to, you know, um, a life purpose and career choices, and finding things that you love and how all of that works together. So I feel like I'm in a great place to be able to share those things with the individuals whom I come in contact with, whether they're young, older, or anybody in between. So I'm grateful for that. So my calling has never left, although my purpose has evolved. Um, to every veteran listening, especially my fellow women in uniform and behind the chair, I honor you. Your service continues in ways you may not even realize, especially those of you who are barbers in the industry. You know, it's unique. We're unique in that we've served, and we're unique in that we are female barbers within this industry. And though we're seeing more of us in the industry, it's still a unique thing because we have a, a a wide perspective, a different perspective, a different vibe that we bring to the industry. And women have been doing this for centuries. And my hope and prayer is that we continue to come into the industry um, and make our mark. So this is episode number 44 of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. Be sure to tune in every Sunday this month as we continue our salute to military veteran barbers. Also tune in every Sunday, first Sundays for the Fade and Flow show with Brandy and I. We do the Fade and Flow show every first Sunday of the month. We got something fun, different coming up. We still trying to work the details out for the last month of the year, but nonetheless, we have that every first Sunday. And then, of course, we have a special guest on. We're going to have Fiona Curry back. She's done the photo shoot. She's waiting for the images. So more than likely, I'll probably do a special episode that won't take place on Sunday. It'll take place probably sometime during the month because I want to get her in as soon as she get the images back so we can talk about that and see what she did this Halloween with her special FX makeup. That was really, really great. And I'm just curious to know what it was because when she was on, I couldn't figure it out and she wasn't dropping too many hints. So she's going to come back with the images, the photos, some video footage so that we can see what she did this year. I think we're going to make that an annual thing with her coming on to show us her Halloween costume. But nonetheless, I want to say thank you to those of you who have watched, who continue to watch. If you're joining for the first time, please like, comment, and subscribe to Real Roots TV, our Facebook channel, our Instagram page as well. Let me know if you know somebody that you want to have that you think should be on. DM me, let me know that too. If you know somebody that you think should come on, let me know that too. Or better yet, send them my info. I'm at Yah-Tay, Yahtay, the Barber Stylist on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What's Twitter? No, not Twitter. Threads. That's it. Threads. Here on YouTube is Real Roots TV. That's Roots with the Z TV. And just have them DM me. So stay rooted, stay inspired, and stay in your purpose. I'm Yah-Tay the Barber Stylist. Let's put it on. Signing off. Y'all see that blue? I'm signing off. Signing off. Thank you all for joining. And remember, we got two more. We got two more veterans coming on. I think y'all are going to enjoy them. One has been on before, and one is new. Will be new to the podcast. But y'all will love both of them. But yeah, thank y'all. Like I say, Yah-Tay, y'all see that U.S. Navy veteran. I'm signing out. I got some studying to do to prepare for this next phase. Remember to get your copy of A Heritage of Hair. It's on Amazon. You can scan the QR code if you're on Facebook and YouTube. The QR code is in the banner. If you're on Instagram, just click the link. Amazon, you can look up A Heritage of Hair, Living the Legacy of My Heritage. It's on full color book. I made it full color because I was taking pictures. But yeah, it's full color, must read. You'll enjoy it. It's easy read, flows well. I'm not just saying it. I've had other people share that with me as well. That it's one of those easy flow. You want to see what happens in the next chapter, so it'll keep you going. But all right, I'm signing off. See y'all on the next episode of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am Yah-Tay U.S. Navy veteran, barber stylist, award-winning author, life coach, life purpose and career coach. But most of all, I'm a servant to my clients. Tune in for the next episode. This is episode 44, from boots to the barbershop, but this is from Navy to the barber chair, the journey of Yah-Tay the barber stylist. Take care, you all.
Roots love. I am real roots, naturals, naturals.